ieħor executive u llum ħajkonna mistiden speċjali magħna illi ħtaft l-okkażjoni kif kien jagħtaw Malta ovvjament bħala direttur tal-films femmi u ħansiru nafu il-film li tidderieġi għaw Malta, film li kien diġà idderieġa snin ilu hawnhekk kif ukoll kif beda l-karriera u propju il-wol ta' direttur. U pjaċir miegħi nilqa' lill-direttur magħna Kevin Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds, I grabbed the opportunity, seeing you here in Malta, to invite you on my program executive. So it's an honor for me that you have accepted this invitation, and we'll get to know a bit more about you, about the role of the director of films, and about the films, the one you shot here in Malta 10 years ago, and the one that you're shooting now.
Okay.
So welcome once again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mr. Reynolds, when you were, I always try to ask this question to my guests, because it's a bit of curiosity. When you were young, when you were a little boy, what was your inspiration of becoming when you grow?
Well, I always like to tell stories. I wrote from a very young age. When I was about 12 years old, I started writing. I like to write. I love stories. I love to read stories, and I found I enjoyed creating stories. So that's really where it started from, is just my writing. And then as I got older, I really loved film. It was a gradual process.
You graduated in law?
What?
You've been graduated?
Yeah, I went to law school because I didn't think it was possible at first to become a film director. It seemed too impossible. So I went to law school, and I was a lawyer for a very brief time. I didn't like it at all. So I started to make films at night. And within about a year, I realized this is what I really want to do. So I went back to film school.
So you moved from home?
Yeah, I mean, I was actually practicing law in Austin, Texas. And I was taking film courses at night at the university. But like I said, after a year, I was working in the daytime, I was making movies at night, and I realized I can't keep doing this. So I actually applied to film school at USC in Los Angeles and got accepted. So I quit my job and I moved to Los Angeles and went back to film school.
And from then onwards, your career obviously changed to the films. What was your very first film?
My very first feature film was a movie called Fandango. And I was very lucky. Steven Spielberg saw a short film that I did in film school and liked it and invited me to make a feature-length version of that short film, and that's what Fandango was.
And then, your very first film of your own?
Fandango.
Fandango.
Yeah.
And you've met as well, I know that one of your favorite actors, friends that you've started with was Kevin Costner.
Yeah, we've done several pictures together.
And obviously, there are lots of films, Robin Hood, you've done Prince of Thieves, and there was also another film shot here in Malta, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Right. That was 14 years ago.
14 years, exactly, back in 2000, right?
Yes.
Because I remember when we had the actors here in Malta.
Right.
Exactly. When you had Count of Monte Cristo, was it your first time here in Malta?
Yes, it was my first time. We were trying to find locations that would create southern France, specifically Marseille and the Chateau d'Ifenol from the novel The Count of Monte Cristo. And I'd never been to Malta before, so we were scouting actually in Ireland and found some locations there. And then we came to Malta, and immediately I was struck. I said, wow, this is perfect for what we're looking for. And so we ended up shooting about half of it in Ireland and half of it here.
It was amazing seeing The Count of Monte Cristo, seeing the scenery of Malta. When you see them on the big screen, and
right.
You could see, like, for example, I remember the Medina and under Medina. When you see it on the big screen, it's amazing. So, because obviously we that we live here, we know the city, the old city, what we have, but maybe we don't see the beauty of it. We don't appreciate the history,
right.
And the story of it. And then when you see it on a film, you say, how nice it looks. Hey, where is that place? So that's really fascinating, because when you go to locations, you get to capture these sceneries, these places that maybe us who live here, the most people don't even notice these locations.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of times when you make a picture, you explore places that the people that live there really aren't that familiar with. And one of the tricks on a film is that more often than not, you're creating a place that doesn't really exist in reality. So in Count of Monte Cristo, because it was set 200 years ago, but now because of all the modern construction in France and all, we couldn't shoot there. So what you end up doing is artificially creating a set by cobbling together all these different looks. Literally in the Count of Monte Cristo, we had shots. So one shot was in Ireland, and he would ride out of the shot in Ireland, and then he would ride into the shot here in Malta. But if you do it right, you don't notice. It all feels like it's one place. So there's a lot of that in the film. It feels like it's all one place, but it's not. It's a combination of Ireland and Malta.
That's amazing. Another thing which some people do ask, the role of directors of a film. Exactly. Is it you that chooses the actors that you want in the film? Is it the production? Is it the pictures? Who?
It varies from film to film. I've been on pictures where I chose all the actors from the beginning, and then I've been on other films where I came on board the film and they already had a lead actor chosen. So it really varies. More often than not, as a director, you make most of the casting choices. I mean, obviously the production company has to approve of those choices. But yeah, it's been my experience most often, you know, I do make most of the casting choices myself.
And how long does it take before you actually, there's a film, there's a story, until the starting of the shooting?
Again, it varies. On this particular film I'm doing now, I've been working on it almost a year already. I've been on other movies where I get a call, like on a Friday, and they suddenly make an offer to you. It's a picture they're about to make, and they want to know, and suddenly the next week you're on the movie. You're doing preparation, and 2-3 months later you're shooting. So it really varies. It's there's not any set rule as to how it comes about.
It all depends on the movie as such.
It does. It does. It depends on the needs of the production company. You know, they may say, okay, we want this movie for release next year. They've already set it in motion. They don't have a director. They call you and say, do you want to do this? And then boom, you're on it. Other ones, if I develop myself, like this one, I've been in development on it for a better part of a year. From the beginnings of the script stages, like I did a big rewrite on this. So as I said, I've been on this one for almost a year already, you know, before we started shooting 2 weeks ago. So there is no hard and fast rule.
Why did you choose Malta again?
Because this story, which is, everybody's doing these biblical films now, and this is another one of these biblical films. And this one, a lot of it takes place in Jerusalem. And as you know, a lot of people do come here because of the incredible stone structures Malta has. It's sort of reminiscent of Jerusalem. And you can find looks here that you can't find anywhere else, even in Jerusalem. So, because of all the amazing forts and the streets and everything here, we chose to shoot the Jerusalem portions of the film here. We're going to go to Spain at the end of September, first part of October, and we'll be shooting all the desert locations, like the Judean desert. Will be done in Spain. But the Jerusalem portions and some of the other pieces.
It's going to be filmed in Malta.
What's that?
It's going to be filmed in Malta, the part of Jerusalem.
Mainly the stuff that takes place in Jerusalem will be filmed here. Yeah.
And when is it going to be ready, this film?
It'll be ready, I would say, probably May of 2015.
A few months. A few months, less than a year.
9 months.
So we'll be ready.
It's like a baby. 9 months.
And how do you find yourself in Malta? Now you've got to know a bit of the places, walking around.
Yeah, it's interesting coming back here. I mean, you know, obviously Malta's not a...
You have seen a change for sure in the country.
I've definitely seen a change. I mean, what's interesting to me about Malta is you come back and every time I come here I find something new. You would think in a small place like this you would see it all the first time, but you don't. And every time I come back I discover a new place or several new places. It has changed a lot in the last 14 years. It seems like it was a lot quieter 14 years ago.
Now even the areas here of St. Julian's.
Around here it's so crowded and there's so many more tourists here. It was much quieter 14 years ago. I remember we used to go down to Spinola and there's a restaurant that was sort of our restaurant we went to every night, and it was very quiet on the bay, but it's not anymore. It's been discovered.
Exactly. A place has remained quiet here until it's discovered. Then, once it gets discovered, it's not quiet anymore. And the culture, the Maltese people, how do you find it?
Maltese people are very friendly, very accommodating. I like them a lot. They're very kind people. very helpful, and they work hard.
And the coordination with work here, working with the Maltese, because obviously you'll be working with Maltese cast as well, and
Yes.
the commissioner of Maltese for films, etc.
Yes. Yes, we work with a lot of different Maltese people, and I think they appreciate the fact that Malta is sort of a mecca for filmmaking, that a lot of people come here, and so they seem to take it very seriously, and they want more productions to come here.
Mr. Reynolds, I thank you very much for this opportunity for this interview. I wish you all the luck, and I hope that we'll not see you here just for this time filming on Clavius, but we'll see you on other films coming back to Malta. And most probably if you come back in another couple of years or even more, you'll find it more louder and more busy, Malta.
I hope it kind of stays the way it is. I like Malta the way it is. I don't think it needs any more people.
But now after this film, you've known the country so much that you have already a lot of places in your mind if you come up with another film.
Maybe. Maybe.
Thank you once again, Mr. Reynolds. U minn hawnhekk ħanifu għal fasira ta' riklami b'għaw manna ħalli niltaqgħu ma' mistieden ieħor fit-tieni parti tal-programm tagħna Executive.